Hey darlings, today we're going to talk about being social in the church and not feeling alone. So I did a video a while back about how I feel so lonely in church, or how I felt rather, because it's gotten a lot better. And that's because I have done a small group with my love and a few people at my church. So a woman that, is, I think, fairly active in the church, decided to have a small group, and she invited me and my love, and I was just like, oh, like I got invited, and like I was very thrilled and happy, and so we signed up for it. And it's been once a week, and we've only had a handful, like 4, 5, 6 get-togethers so far, and it's been like huge. It's been so amazing because we get together with these people and we've opened up a fair amount. Like, some people have talked about the different struggles that they've had. They've asked for different prayer requests and been vulnerable, and it's been just very beautiful, and it makes it so much easier when we go to church, because generally there's 3 services, but usually one of them or more, or all of them practically, are there when we go, or we catch them before or after, like in between services. And it's so easy to go up to them, because then we can be like, oh, hey, how's your daughter? Like, oh, hey, how's your business going? Hey, like, the grandkids came over. How did that go? Like, it's so much easier to strike up that conversation and just to chat and to feel comfy. And it's made a huge difference. It's made a world of difference. And it's been just awesome. It's been a blessing. And it's super helped because I still have this weird idea that every person in the church is this like very pious person who follows the Bible to the letter. Or if they don't, they're like, oh man, I struggle with this, and they pray about it. And maybe they have like a mentor that helps them through whatever sin they're struggling with. And I feel weird because there's things I don't think are sins that most, if not like almost all of the people that I think are there would think would be sins. That did not come out right. You know what I mean? Because one of the things is, I don't think being gay, being queer, being part of the alphabet mafia, being LGBTQ plus is a sin. I don't. I think it's fine. I feel like the things in the Bible that talk about it are referring to like the practice of temple prostitute boys, where that was like some sort of Roman thing, and they were condemning it. It was like, hey, dudes, don't have sex with the temple boys. Pretty sure I can get, I'm good with being like, hey, that's a sin. Don't do that. Or if it was for like the Levites, like the Levitical priests, I'm like, I mean, that is not great for them, but like the Leviticus definitely has a lot of interesting rules, but I do believe it was supposed to be for that tribe, because they were the ones that were supposed to be the priests and to carry out all sorts of ceremonial sacrifices and all that jazz. I sound so smart, don't I? My biblical knowledge is very spotty, but I feel like that we've taken these like little bits of the Bible, and then we've condemned an entire community of people, and I feel like that's so unfair. Like, the comfort that I get from God is huge, and it makes me mad when people act in a way that keeps people from that love. So if there is a person who is queer and they want to be close to God, and then someone's just like, you're a sinner, you're going to hell, that's not going to make them want to get close to God. So that stuff infuriates me a lot. So yes, I don't think that is a sin. And there's a lot of people who are going to, and there's a lot of people who are convinced, hands down, that it is not okay, and even that those people aren't going to go to heaven. And that's ridiculous, and I don't like it. And then another thing is like sex stuff. That I've heard a couple different people, different theological, like educated people, say that sexual immorality is actually anything that's not consensual or like dishonors yourself or another person. And so when you're looking at some of the things in the Bible, when they're talking about sexual immorality, I'm always wondering, like, well, are they talking about rape? Are they talking about pedophilia? Are they talking about bestiality? Are they talking about things that are definitely harmful, or are they talking about just like an average sex drive? Because I still have the hardest time believing that a loving creator would be like, here's a sex drive for most people. Okay, you only get to use it in this very specific time and place. Like, you have to wait till you're married, has to be with your spouse. You even look at somebody, nope, you're an awful person, you're damaging your soul, and I hate you. Not that the Bible says that God hates you, but like, that's what I feel that the message is that people get. It's like, if you're sexual and you're not in a marriage with an opposite sex partner, that you are horrible and you're damaging your soul and you're making God cry. And that, again, that thought infuriates me, because like, that was one of the things that kept me from getting close to God, because I was like, I'm a sexual person, and why would you do this? Why would you make me have a sex drive and then condemn me for it? It'd be like if God was like, hey, you can only eat like these dry, crusty crickets. You know, that's fine, but you're going to be hungry. But that's the only thing you can eat. Like, that's fine. That's beautiful. That's a gift I've given you. But if you're hungry and you really want to eat an apple, or if you really want to eat, you know, a steak, if you really want to eat some potatoes, if you really want to eat like anything else, that's wrong and that's a sin and I'm going to cry. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you give a human a drive? And I'm not saying this as like I'm happy. Like, I don't like hookup culture. I don't think everyone should bang everyone. Like, I don't think that's good for you. But I think if you have like a connection and you are honoring yourself and you're honoring the other person and you're seeing them in their fullness, you know, you're not treating them like an object, and it's all consensual, I think that can be a very beautiful gift and that it's okay. And again, this is one of those things where I watch God is Gray, the channel. I love her so very much. And I know people will attack her and they'll be like, oh, she's going by her feelings. And I'm like, that's what I'm doing too. But like I said, there are theologians and people who are educated in the Bible that are just like, dude, no. Like, sexual immorality is not just like, check out that person's butt. That's nice. Like, it's not that. It's all the stuff that is like legit. I think almost everyone can agree that's not great. So now that I've gone on that long tangent, I feel sometimes weird that I have that belief. Because if I struggled with sexual immorality, if I was just like, oh man, you know, I had premarital sex again with my partner, we're not married, and I just feel awful about it, I'm really praying that I don't do it, or there's this female-bodied person that I am just in love and in lust with, and I'm just praying away the gay, praying away the queerness in my heart, just asking for the Lord to take it from me. Like, I feel like people would be like, yeah, good job. But the fact that I don't want to do any of that I'm just like chill with being very queer, and I'm chill with being just a lust monster, which is a terrible way to put it. Like, I'm not a lust monster. I don't. Like, we had an interesting opportunity last night that could have turned into like a full-on orgy if somebody pushed it. And I was like, no. Like, I am happy to have my own sexual integrity. But yeah, it feels very strange to have those beliefs. But my love and I were talking to a person in our group And it sounded like they might be, they themselves or somebody, they know, might be a little bit more thinking the way that I think. And I was just like, like trying to hold in my excitement because I'm like, I'm not alone. Because I am sure there are so many people that are having premarital sex there that are not trying to like pray it away, that are not being like, Lord, take this burden from me. My boyfriend and I are banging, and I know it's wrong. Like, I'm sure, but I still have this weird fear about like being who I am and just being like, yo, I'm Kira. I write smut. I write books that are to glorify God and also have dirty, kinky sex in them. Like, I would feel very uncomfortable doing that. And my books, like the sex stuff is like, they're not like, somebody once told me how many sex scenes need to be in a book for it to be like considered erotica or romance, and I'm like, in between, I think. Like, they are very much character driven, and then there's plot, and then there's like some sexy stuff sprinkled in. It's not like plot just to get from sex scene to sex scene to sex scene to sex scene to sex scene. I try not to like overdo it. Like, I want them to make sense and be part of the story. So where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so being myself. Like, I still am having a hard time being myself, but getting closer to people and realizing that I might not be as alone as I think I am has definitely helped. So if your church does have small groups and there's something that interests you, because I know our church is going to have a mom's group. I'm not a mom. Excuse me. But yeah, like this book is that we've been reading, The Power of Your Words by Robert Morris. It's like some of it's over the top, but some of it's very helpful. It's been really awesome to learn more about that and just to connect with people. So yeah, I would suggest joining a small group if your church has one. If your church doesn't have one, maybe see if you could head one up. Maybe, I don't know, or find a church that does do small groups. So that'd be cool, because yeah. Life has definitely been better. It's been so amazing to go to church and like talk to people and not stand there just like. And also, I live in Minnesota and we're just very standoffish. Like, we're Minnesota nice. Like, we will help jump your car or whatever, or maybe help shovel you out, but we don't want to small talk with you. I mean, we might, but like, I think it's because a lot of like Norwegian, Swedish, like Scandinavian people settled here, and I think they're not necessarily like super keen on small talk, and so it takes a bit to like get to know someone. I've heard that from people other places coming up here where they're just like, so hard to make friends, because we're just like, that's not how we are. I don't know. Where was I going with that? I have no flipping clue. Why is this so long? What am I even talking about? Join a small group if you go to church. If you don't go to church, I don't know, you could try going to church. Or don't go to church. You do you, boo. You do you. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm happy. I feel less lonely at church. Okay, bye.